Hey, what's up, docs? Ryan G here with BlowUp Local. I just dropped my family off at the airport. They're heading to Canada for a week and going to have some fun up there. And I'm on baby duty. I've got baby Clover, and I'll be taking care of her for the week. So, yeah, that should be interesting. But I wanted to share with you guys a little bit of what has happened in the last week. So as we are launching and trying to grow BlowUp Local, get some new chiropractors in that we can serve, I started looking at the marketplace to see what everybody else is doing. And, if you're a chiropractor, you've been on Facebook, you've probably noticed that you are absolutely getting bombarded with ads. There are what seems like thousands of people running ads targeting chiropractors with very big promises. Big promises of, we're going to get you 30 patients in the next 14 minutes, or you get your money back, or we're going to grow your practice by 500%. Just crazy, outlandish kind of claims. I highly doubt any of these people can actually fulfill on this stuff. But anyway, there's just a lot. And Dan Kennedy has a famous quote that says, if you want to be successful, all you have to do is look at what everyone else is doing and do the opposite. What most entrepreneurs do is they look at the marketplace, they look at their competition, and they simply want to be the average of that competition. So they look around and they say, okay, how much money is every other chiropractor in my geographical area charging? So if the average is $60, then many chiropractors say, okay, I'm going to charge $55. So now that $55 price tag is what they believe their unique selling proposition, and it's not. All you're doing is, frankly, attracting the worst type of customers that exist, which are pure price shoppers. And you're also hindering your ability to spend money and grow your business because you're broke and struggling to make ends meet. So as I'm looking at all this and I see what my competitors are doing to try to attract new patients, I then started asking myself, what are they not doing? How can I stand out from the crowd and lead with an information-first strategy? So when I started Tampa Carry, my firearms training business, we didn't have a lot of money to spend on ads. And really our entire marketing strategy was creating videos on YouTube so that we were findable. It was easy for people who are interested in our product to find us on the internet. And the other thing that I did was very guerrilla type marketing. So I would put out about 50 lawn signs multiple times a week. And I would always put them up very late at night, around midnight, and in highly trafficked areas that were, my rule was, if it's the more dangerous it is for me to put the lawn sign up, the less likely somebody will want to take it down because it's just too risky. So anyway, we would do stuff like that, which was very different than everybody else. And we were able to stand out from the crowd. So as I'm looking at the marketplace, what my competitors are doing, I said, what are they not doing? And you know what they're not doing? They are not using direct mail. So I bought this direct mail course. I've done a little bit of direct mail in the past, but frankly, not a lot. And bought this direct mail course, started going through it. And halfway through the course, I was like, okay, this makes sense. I got enough information. Let's launch this. So I took a article that I had already written that was really good. It was actually for a presentation that I was preparing to give. And I said, let's just take this presentation. We'll turn this into a newsletter. So we designed the newsletter, and then we put the presentation through like the editing process to clean it up, make sure it made sense. Got some graphics made, and then started printing the newsletter. And now, because this was like a rush thing, and I'm very aggressive when I get an idea, like I just want to launch and get it done. I don't really want to wait to do anything. I got the genius idea, dude, we're just going to print this thing. Well, I'm going to print this thing in my house. So we compiled a list of about 1,100 chiropractors who specialize in neuropathy treatment, because we're not really interested in helping general chiropractors because, frankly, they don't make enough money. They don't invest money in advertising, so hiring us is not going to be smart for them because they don't make enough and they already don't believe that marketing is super important. But somebody who's concentrating on neuropathy, they're bringing in a high-value patient. They're willing to invest money to attract those high-value patients, so that's who we're looking for. So we compiled this list, we cleaned the list, and then I've got 2 like decent-sized home printers, and we just started printing. Everything started out really good in the beginning, but then we started having a massive amount of problems. The ink was running out rather quickly, and then we ran out of paper, so I had to run to Walmart at midnight to buy a big case of paper. And then getting the ink in was just a disaster. The room, we're doing it in my wife's office, and Tiff's office was getting so hot because the printers were running so fast that we just had to keep the doors open. And then it got to the point that the printers were so hot that we could only print like 1 newsletter at a time and then wait about a minute to let it cool down and then print the next newsletter. Yeah. So it was, how long did we start doing this? Maybe a week we've been printing. And we got 673 newsletters printed. And finally, last night at about 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock, the printers are just dead. They're not working. I guess you're not a home printer from Amazon is not designed to print 1,000 documents that are 8 pages long. So in like less than a week. So yeah, just write that down in case you need that for later. Yeah, so we got the what we have, the 673, we got them printed, we got them stuffed in the envelopes, we got stamps on it. I'm going to drop them in the mail August 1st, and then people should start getting them, within that first week of August. So we're pretty excited. So it's we're leading with information. It's educational to teach the docs something that they need to know, and then a very simple stealth close, which is, hey, by the way, if you need help with your website, if your website sucks, shoot me a text message and we'll see if maybe we could possibly help you. So why is that important for you as a doctor? It's because there is a lot of competition in the marketplace, especially if you're serving patients suffering with chronic nerve pain. We've got a lot of clients, and I noticed that one client is like really crushing it, and I have with Facebook ads, and I noticed another client, it's like not working at all. So I thought, oh man, this is crazy. Like Tim has got a 5% click-through rate, which is the amount of people that see his ad and actually click on it to go to the next step. And then Rich has got like a 0.7% click-through rate. So I was trying to figure out, why is this happening? Why is that click-through rate so different? The prospect is going to the same landing page. The ads are the same. The targeting and everything is the same. Why are we getting a different result? And there are a lot of factors that I believe could be attributing to this, but the one that I think is potentially the most likely is Tim has zero competition in his city, whereas Rich, I think we counted 15 in a very close area, and there's one that's actually in Rich's same building that just has a lot more social proof, like a tremendous amount of social proof. So, Rich might be generating the interest for the solution, but then as that prospect is then going and doing research, they're discovering, oh, well, actually there might be somebody who's better equipped or more likely to get the result that I desire because they have 5,000 5-star reviews and Rich only has, 20. So how do we stand out from the competition in a very crowded marketplace? You have to do something wildly different. You've got to stand out. As Dan Kennedy says, you need to stand out like a whore at a church picnic. Because doing the same thing that everybody else is doing is going to get you the same result that everybody else is getting, which is nothing. It's struggling. It's difficulties, spending a bunch of money on ads that don't really seem to be functioning properly. You've got to do something different. And what that different thing is for Rich, I'm not 100%. We have a lot of ideas and things that we're working on to implement for him. But it's also about having a tremendous amount of social proof. You know, as your prospects are trying to decide which chiropractor am I going to choose to solve my problem, you have to remember that you're not the first doctor they've tried. These people have already been to medical doctors. They've already tried medication. They've already tried injections. They've more than likely already tried surgery. Many of these people have been to physical therapists, to massage therapists. They've been to chiropractors, and every single one of those individuals promised that their unique solution would solve the patient's problem. And the reason that I know this is because I am that person who's been suffering for 14 years with chronic pain, and I've done all those things, and every single person was like, yeah, listen, I've had hundreds of people who are just like you, and we were able to help them. But you weren't able to help me. You weren't, because I'm still in a ton of pain, so you're completely full of crap. So now when I hear another doctor say things like that and make the same promise, I don't believe you. I don't believe you, because people have already made that claim and it didn't work. So we've got to lead with information. We've got to provide some value first and increase the level of certainty that prospect will have by choosing your unique solution. So how do we increase the level of certainty? I think there's a lot of ways. I think it's testimonials, case studies, 5-star reviews. But where I think many chiropractors get, that stuff wrong is that they have a few. We don't want a few reviews. We don't want a few case studies. We don't want a few testimonials. We want wildly overwhelming and obnoxious amount of testimonials, case studies, pictures with happy patients. It should be obnoxious. It should be to the point where when prospects look at your stuff, they're scrolling on your site for, forever, looking at the pictures or the handwritten notes from your patients because you're changing their lives. That's how we increase that level of certainty. We can also increase the level of certainty with something called a guarantee. So a guarantee, also called a risk reversal in marketing, is where you're basically saying, hey, listen, Mr. Patient, we guarantee that you're going to have this level of reduction of pain. Let's just say, for the sake of this argument, with neuropathy, let's say, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, we guarantee that in the next 6 months, you will receive a 20% less pain than you're in today. How would you like to be in 20% less pain today? Finally be able to walk again, finally be able to have your balance, be able to hold your grandkids and not worry about dropping them. Would you be happy with that? And then get that compliance. Yes, I would be. Okay, great. So if we are not able to get that for you within the next 6 months, we're going to refund 100% of your money. And I've noticed chiropractors will attempt to do this type of risk reversal, but they do it wrong. What they'll say is, we'll refund the amount of your care plan that you have not used yet. Okay, well, that's not a risk reversal. Risk reversal means that we need to eliminate the risk. Just give them their money back. Now, you're only going to make those big, bold promises of what you can do for them based on the data that you've accumulated from hundreds or thousands of patients. So you want to look at what is the result that you can deliver for your patients 100% of the time that they actually desire. So if you can identify the result you can deliver 100% of the time that your perfect patient actually really wants, then you just work backwards and say, hey, listen, our program, we guarantee we're going to get you this result, or we're going to refund 100% of your money. So you have nothing to lose. If you invest in this care plan, and your neuropathy gets better, you win because you don't have the pain. You don't have the numbness, tingling, and burning pain. You get to fall asleep fast. You get to go for walks with your family again, all that stuff. So if it works, you're going to win. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, if it doesn't work, if you go through all of this, the care plans, you do the assignments that we're going to give you at home, if you show up to your appointments on time and you actually sit through the whole thing, if you follow all the guidelines in our care plan and you don't get this result, we're going to refund your money. So if it works, you're going to win because you get better. And if it doesn't work, you're going to win because we're going to give you 100% of your money back. Does that make sense? Like, does it make sense for us to take this leap of faith together and try to get you better so you can live the life that you want? Does it make sense to do that, Mr. and Mrs. Jones? I think, docs, if you made that one tiny change in your practice, you would probably see a massive increase in conversions and really start crushing it. So that's another way that you can definitely increase certainty. And let's just keep going. So your website looking good, your staff answering the phone properly, having proper follow-up. These are things that don't really exist in the modern business landscape. Like, it's not super normal to have a good customer service experience at any business today, let alone a chiropractor. So if you can have your staff really trained and dialed in to deliver that VIP experience, patients are going to see that and they go, wow, this was really different than everywhere else I go. There's something different about these people, right? Like, again, it increases that level of certainty. Another thing you can do is referrals. So when your happy patients tell their next door neighbor, and that next door neighbor does not know, like, or trust you, they know nothing about you, no reason to trust you, you haven't provided your value, but they trust their next door neighbor, Betty, who they've lived next to for 15 years. Betty got an amazing result with your practice, and now Betty is referring them to you. So it's not that the patient trusts you, it's that the patient trusts Betty. So you're able to borrow or leverage some of that social equity or trust from Betty and use it to your advantage. That's the power. That's why referrals are so amazing, is that you're leveraging someone else's trust. And this is also why you have to be very careful who you refer, because if you break that trust, you lose it for a long time. So anyway, that's just a few ways you can increase certainty. I think that's all I've got for today, guys. I am almost home, and I've got baby Clover, got to feed her, and then I've got to see. I'm not going to really work much this week because I need to just focus on watching her and making sure she's safe. But hopefully this lesson makes sense. Hopefully it gives you a little bit of an insight. And I think the big key takeaways from this episode is that you need to do something different to stand out from the crowd is number one. Number two, you need to take daily, aggressive, imperfect action. When I got the idea to create the newsletter, we just launched. It's not perfect. If I spent another month on it, it could definitely be better. But it doesn't matter. I just needed to launch it and see what happens, and then we'll get better naturally over time. Number three, you've got to increase the level of certainty that your perfect patient has by choosing your product or service. And you have to be very aggressive in increasing that certainty. So that's all I've got. If you're a chiropractor and you want to attract new patients into your practice who refer their friends and family like crazy, shoot me a text message at 813-789-9868. That's 813-789-9868. And I'd love to talk to you, see if maybe I can help. I might not be able to help you, but maybe I can. And see if we can help you reach your goals, get more new patients, automate your business and actually have a business that you enjoy running instead of being a slave to it. So thanks for listening, guys. And until next time, keep moving forward.